Alrighty, folks, you know I'm feeling great on hump day because we're now 6-0 in our last 6 chairman package picks on my premium page. And the good news is I have another chairman package pick going off here today. And if you sign up for my full access, all-inclusive chairman membership, you're going to get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to my chairman podcast absolutely free. It's going to be included with your purchase. And you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on the free videos and what I do on my premium page. Well, what I do here on the free videos is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. What I do on my premium pages, well, I actually share with you which one of these free plays I actually like the best. I'm 2-0 my last couple of daily best plays, 3-0 my last 3 NBA tier package picks, and finally, folks, once again, I'm 6-0 my last 6 chairman package plays on my premium page. And the good news is I got plays going off in all of those packages here tonight. The site is patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, folks, we are going to jump into some free content. We're going to start off with the Pelicans at the Wizards, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. New Orleans is minus 7.5, totals 241. Now, the Pels got the W in 4 out of their last 6 games. They went 4-2 against the spread during that time frame as well. And even though the Pels aren't really known for their offensive prowess, they do tend to start off hot. New Orleans is actually one of the best first-half scoring teams in the Western Conference. Brandon Ingram's tied for the team lead in points per game. C.J. McCollum's averaging over 19.5 a night himself. They're facing a Washington club who allows more points a game than any other franchise in the league. They're giving up a league-worst 126 points a night. And no real surprise here. These guys are just getting out physical underneath the basket. They're dead last in defensive boards per contest. Now, injury-wise, Omorie, Rollins, Shamet, Wright, and Davis are still out. Daniel Gafford is questionable. Meanwhile, for the Pels, Zion Williamson, he is questionable with an ankle. Now, 3 out of the Pels' last 4 contests did get over the total. Overs against the likes of Minnesota, Sacramento, and Chicago. Meanwhile, Washington went 4-1 to the over in their last 5 themselves. 64% to the over for the entire season. Give me the Pelicans, minus 7.5, over 241. Next matchup, it is going to be Sixers, Pistons, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Philadelphia is the 11.5-point favorite on the road here, totals 234. And of course, the Sixers, Joel Embiid, continues to lead the league in scoring. He's averaging a league-best 33.4 points a night, along with 11.5 boards. Meanwhile, Tyrese Maxey, second on the roster in scoring, 40% shooting from 3-land. And even if the Sixers get themselves in a jam, they typically open things up late in games. They're in the top 5 in both third and fourth. Man, spit it out, dude. They're in the top 5 in both third and fourth quarter scoring. And of course, they're facing an historically bad Pistons team who allows more second-half points than most clubs in the league. And aside from some horrible defense, the Pistons also can't score. They're in the bottom 3 in offensive points per game. And just for the record, folks, out of 23 ball games played this year, the Pistons got the W only twice. Just 2 wins this year. Now, Bagley and Durant are still out for Detroit. When it comes to the total, the Sixers saw their last 7 straight all get over the number, 7-3 to the over in their road trips. Give me Philadelphia minus 11.5, over 234. Next contest, Hawks, Raptors, 7:30 p.m. East. Toronto's 1.5, totals 239 and a hook. Now, both teams are playing some horrible basketball at the moment. I'll start with Toronto. I'm going to bang on both teams here, but I'll start with Toronto. The Raptors are on a 4-game skid, and they failed to cover in 6 out of their last 7. Now, Atlanta on the other side, they've been terrible as well. They failed to cover in their last 7 straight themselves, and they suffered outright losses in all of those contests except for one. So obviously both teams really struggling at the moment. Now total-wise, Toronto did see 3 out of their last 4 get over the total. Overs against the likes of the Knicks and Hornets. Meanwhile, Atlanta went 4-1 to the over in their last 5. 64% to the over for the entire season. And if you want to see if I like the Hawks or the Raptors in this one, well, this game is being featured as the first leg of today's crowd pleaser teaser on my premium page. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, give me the over 239.5. All right, next matchup, Hornets Heat, 7:30 East. Miami's the 8-point favorite at home, totals 223. Now, I'm not so confident Miami's going to cover here. They've certainly had their issues covering over the past few weeks. And I'll tell you, this is a rather big number here. The Heat failed to cover in 5 out of their last 7. And they've been terrible against the number at home. They're just 2-7 against the spread in their own building. And surprisingly, most of that is due to some poor defense. I know they're known for their defensive effort, but not good enough at home this year. The Heat's actually letting their competition make 51% of their field goals against them in their own arena. And little does many folks know that Charlotte has actually had the hot hand away from home. They're a top 5 field goal shooting team on the road in the East. Miles Bridges, he is nailing nearly 42% of his three-pointers, 20 points a night as well. And speaking of scoring, Terry Rozier, he's averaging over 23.5 points a game. Now, Charlotte's currently a top 3 point-producing team in the fourth quarter, so backdoor is always wide open. This is a team that can strike late in games. So even if they go into the final frame down 20 points, don't count them out. Don't be surprised if you cash, because these guys score a lot of points late in games. Now, injury-wise, Martin Ball and Ntilikina, they're still out. Mark Williams is doubtful. Meanwhile, for Miami on the other side, Adebayo, Hero, and Highsmith, they're still out for them. Now, the over cashed in 6 out of Miami's last 10 ball games. Charlotte went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Hornets +8 over 223. All right, next ball game should be a good one. Pacers-Bucks, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Milwaukee's the 6.5-point favorite. Totals 258 and a hook. And of course, let's go ahead and address that total right now. That is an all-star game type total. Well, not anymore, but probably 30 years ago. You've seen totals for all-star games at about 258.5 here. And speaking of that total, the Bucks saw the over cash in 5 out of their last 6. They're also 8-5 to the over in the Fiserv Forum this year. And of course, a lot of those overs, it's due to some poor defense on Milwaukee's part. The Bucks are allowing nearly $120 a night on their own court. And that could mean bad news for them here tonight because the Pacers can't be stopped on offense. Indy's leading the league in scoring, top shooters from the field. Tyrese Halliburton's drilling 44% of his three-pointers. He's also averaging a team-high 26 points a game. Now, Buddy Hield's drilling 40% of his long balls himself. And no real surprise here, folks. The Pacers score more second-half points a night than any other team in the league. Now, injury-wise, Jalen Smith is out for the Pacers. Livingston and Connaughton inactive for the Bucks. And once again, guys, when it comes to this absurd total, the Bucks have seen their fair share of overs this year. They're 15-8 to the over for the entire season. Meanwhile, Indiana's gone 80% to the over in their road games. Give me the Pacers +6.5 over 258 and a hook. Next contest, Lakers-Spurs, 8 o'clock East. The Lakers are the 2-point favorite on the road. Totals 229.5. And even though the Lakers are in the second of a back-to-back here, they're old and banged up. I just can't, in good conscience, back the Spurs here. I feel like this is a really squarish lean. And like I said, I gave you the factors as to why the Lakers could be in trouble. It's a second of a back-to-back. They're already old. They're already injured. Like I said, it's a squarish lean, but you got to consider how bad the Spurs are. They're 3-19 on the year. They've lost all of their home games except for one. They really haven't been competitive. And I'll tell you, aside from ranking second to last in the league in defensive boards at home, these guys are allowing over 122 points a night in their own building. I think the Lakers' fatigue and oldness can overcome how bad the Spurs have been defensively. Now, of course, they're facing a Laker club who scored 123 points or more in their last three straight. So this is a team that has been getting to the basket. I'll tell you, they're having little problems getting to the basket on the road. The Lakers are a top 5 field goal shooting team on the road in the West. Now, injury-wise, LeBron, AD, Vanderbilt, and Hood Schifino are all questionable for the Lakers. I'm not surprised about that. They're typically questionable when they're rested. So in the second of back-to-back, I'm not surprised to see them on the injury report. Gabe Vincent is still out. Now, total-wise, 4 out of the Lakers' last 5 ball games stayed under the total. I'm not looking for them to run a million fast breaks here tonight in the second of a back-to-back. LA's currently 60% to the under for the entire season as well. But like I said, can't back a 3-19 team here. I think the Lakers, negative aspects can still overcome a Spurs team who's just not really competitive. Give me the Lakers -2, under 229.5. All right, next matchup. Grizzlies, Rockets, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Houston's -5.5, totals 213. And in addition to winning their last 3 straight, the Rockets have been an outstanding covering team this year. These guys have made some folks some money. Houston successfully covered the point spread in all of their home games this season except for one. And much of that is thanks to some stifling defensive play. We haven't seen good defense out of Houston for about a decade. And they are finally starting to play very tough on that end of the court. The Rockets allow fewer points a game at home than any other club in the league. Of course, Brooks and Sengun lead the roster in steals. Alpi Sengun also averages nearly double-digit boards a night. And of course, the Rockets are taking on a Memphis club who lost 7 out of their last 10 themselves. And I'll tell you what, they simply just can't get to the basket. Memphis is currently second to last in the league in offensive field goal percentage. Now, injury-wise, Marcus Smart, he is out for Memphis. Luke Kennard's still inactive. Meanwhile, for Houston on the other side, Oladipo's out. Eason and Thompson are questionable. Now, the Rockets' last 4 straight all stayed under the total. 9-2 to the under this year in the Toyota Center. Meanwhile, Memphis saw the under cash in 7 out of their last 10. Give me the Rockets -5.5, under 213. All right, next matchup, Nets, Suns, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Phoenix is -2, totals 227. Now, right off the bat here, folks, we've got to address some injury problems at the moment for Phoenix. Durant, Allen, Okogie, and Nasir Little. They're all questionable to suit up here this evening. And I'll tell you what, even if they do, this is a Phoenix club who's consistently struggled on offense late in games. And what I mean by that is this. The Suns are currently averaging fewer fourth-quarter points than any other team in the NBA except for one. And no real surprise, Phoenix is in the bottom 5 in the NBA in field goals made per game. They're taking on a physically tough defense in Brooklyn. The Nets are in the top 5 in the East in defensive field goal percentage. And they do tend to hunker down defensively late in games themselves. Brooklyn's in the top 10 in fewest fourth-quarter points allowed. Dennis Smith, he is out again for the Nets. Lonnie Walker still battling that hammy. Meanwhile, for the Suns, once again, folks, KD, Allen, Okogie, and Little all day today. Damian Lee's also been scratched. The Suns went 60% to the over in their last 10. They're also 10-2 to the over in their own arena. Meanwhile, Brooklyn on the other side, they saw overs recently against the likes of the Kings, Magic, and Hornets. Give me the Nets +2 over 227. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. Going to be in that Knicks-Jazz game, 9 o'clock Eastern start time. New York's the 6-point favorite, totals 228.5. And as bad as Utah's been with losses and injuries recently, well, I don't think this is an easy number for New York here. For one, they're on the road where they're playing just 500 basketball. And two, well, they haven't really been a good covering team. The Knicks failed to cover in 6 out of their last 9. And for some reason, the Knicks have had some problems defensively on the road. I realize that's kind of the strength of this team. But New York's in the bottom 5 in the East in defensive field goal percentage while traveling. Now they're facing a Utah team who's doing a nice job of scoring in their own building. And even when they miss shots, they immediately get it back. This is a top 3 offensive rebounding team at home in the NBA. Now, injury-wise, Collins, Kessler, and Markkanen are questionable for Utah. Clarkson is still out. Meanwhile, for New York, Mitchell Robinson, going to be out a couple of months here, got surgery this week. So big loss for them. He has been a really good presence underneath the basket. Emmanuel Quickly, he's also questionable. Now, total-wise, a bunch of overs here for New York recently. They saw their last 5 straight get over the total. Meanwhile, the Jazz are currently 64% to the over in Salt Lake City. Give me the Jazz plus 6 over 228.5. And with that, folks, now it is time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Pelicans minus 7.5 over 241. Sixers minus 11.5 over 234. I like the over 239.5 in the Hawks-Raptors game. I'm 6-0, my last 6 chairman package picks on my premium page. And the good news is I have another chairman package pick going off here this evening. The link for my site is in my bio. Give me the Hornets plus 8 over 223. Pacers plus 6.5 over 258 and a hook. Lakers minus 2 under 229.5. Rockets minus 5.5 under 213. Brooklyn Nets plus 2 over 227. With my next and final free pick, give me the Jazz plus 6 over 228.5. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. Now, if you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that Chairman membership, it's a full access, all-inclusive package. It gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my Chairman podcast absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. But most importantly, folks, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, folks, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page at patreon.com/BrockPage.